Title: The Time Traveler's Mistake. Introduction. In the year 2095, Dr. Ethan Carter, a brilliant but reckless scientist, stood in his underground laboratory. He had spent years developing the chronosphere, a device that could send a person through time. Tonight, he would test it himself. Little did he know, one small mistake would change everything. Act 1. The Leap Through Time. Ethan activated the machine, setting the date to April 14th, 1912, the day the Titanic struck the iceberg. His goal was simple: to witness history firsthand. As the machine hummed and sparks flew, he felt himself being pulled into a vortex of swirling colors. When he landed, the cold night air stung his face. He was standing on the deck of the Titanic. He had made it. People in elegant attire walked past him, completely unaware of their doomed fate. Ethan marveled at the ship's grandeur, but he knew he had limited time. He had programmed the machine to bring him back in 1 hour. Act 2. The Unintended Change. Curiosity led Ethan to explore. He overheard conversations, saw children playing, and even spoke with a crew member. But then he did something he shouldn't have. He saw a woman drop a locket. Without thinking, he picked it up and handed it back to her. "Thank you, sir," she said, smiling. "This was my mother's. I would have been devastated if I lost it." At that moment, Ethan's wrist device beeped. His hour was up. A bright light surrounded him, and he vanished before the woman's astonished eyes. Act 3. A Changed Future. Back in 2095, Ethan stumbled out of the chronosphere, relieved. But something felt different. His lab looked slightly unfamiliar. On his desk, he saw a newspaper headline: "Titanic survives iceberg collision. No lives lost." His heart pounded. He had changed history. He quickly accessed the historical records. The woman he had helped had been in distress and originally ignored an urgent warning about the iceberg. But because Ethan helped her, she had told an officer, and the ship had altered its course in time. Now, history was rewritten. The Titanic had never sunk. The survivors never became famous. Countless ripple effects spread across time. The world was no longer the same. Act 4. A Difficult Choice. Ethan panicked. He had always believed time travel should be for observation only. Changing history was dangerous. But what should he do? Should he fix his mistake or leave things as they were? After hours of contemplation, he made a decision. He stepped back into the chronosphere and set the date again. April 14th, 1912. This time, he remained hidden. He watched as the woman dropped the locket, but he didn't interfere. He let history play out as it originally had. As the ship struck the iceberg, he felt the weight of his inaction. But he knew it was necessary. Conclusion. Returning to 2095, Ethan checked the records. History was back to normal. The tragedy had happened once again, but time was stable. He had learned an important lesson. Even the smallest action can change everything. And so he vowed never to meddle with time again.